A Democratic lawmaker in Kentucky has sponsored a bill that would require men to get a note from their wives should they seek a prescription for Viagra. Now, it seems a little curious that a Democratic lawmaker would do something that usually a Republican lawmaker will do, but just hold tight and figure out what it is that she's trying to get across. Now, the bill is sponsored by Representative Lou Marzian, a Kentucky Democrat who is a nurse. She told the Courier-Journal newspaper that the legislation is aimed at protecting the health of Kentucky's men. She wants to make sure they understand the potentially dangerous side effects of erectile dysfunction drugs. The bill also would require that doctors prescribe a drug for erectile dysfunction only to a man who is currently married and require a man to make a sworn statement with his hand on the Bible that he will only use a prescription or the prescription for a drug for erectile dysfunction when having sexual relations with his current spouse. Now, the reason why she's doing this is because, like many other red states, Kentucky is trying to pass more restrictive abortion laws, and they want to make it even more difficult for women to access a safe abortion. So since they're using their religion to support those laws, and since they're saying that they're just trying to keep women safe, this lawmaker is doing the same thing, but only to men requiring or wanting Viagra.
So I'm reading the article, and I didn't know what she was up to because they don't really say it until you get way down in the piece, right? And I'm like, man, this is crazy, right? I'm like, but it was believable. It's believable because they get so deep into your private life and they want to run your life based on the Bible, not based on logic or reason, et cetera.
Right.
And so, and then I was like, but there's something wrong here because these kind of religious restrictions never apply to men. It's almost always applies to women. I'm like, something doesn't compute here. And I went back up to the top, and it said she was a Democrat. I was like, man, are they this religious in Kentucky, even for the Democrats, right? And then I went and read the rest of the article. I was like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. She's trying to make a point. Hey, if you don't want me all up in your life, then don't get up all in my life, okay? So do you believe in liberty or don't you believe in liberty? And do you believe we should be ruled by the Bible, or do you not believe we should be ruled by the Bible? If you think we should be ruled by the Bible, then let me see your hand on that Bible before I give you the Viagra.
I just love that she's calling their bluff when it comes to this disingenuous notion that they're trying to keep women safe, right? Because when you're outlawing abortion or when you're restricting it, what you're really doing is creating an unsafe environment for women who end up getting pregnant. A lot of women will take matters into their own hands. And so she's trying to point that out, and she's also trying to point out a double standard. Here's another thing she's doing, okay? She said she also plans to file a bill requiring potential gun buyers to obtain counseling 24 hours in advance from victims of gun violence before the purchase. Now, the reason why she's doing that is because it's a response to Kentucky trying to get women to have a 24-hour waiting period prior to getting that abortion. So they'd have to go see a doctor, get counseled. The doctor would give them all the reasons why they shouldn't have an abortion, and then they wait 24 hours before they can come back and actually have the procedure.
Yeah. No, I love this. And again, if you're pro-life, you should have no problems making sure that the person who's buying a weapon knows the consequences of that weapon, because weapons take people's lives. They don't always, but they do sometimes. Let's be better safe than sorry, right? What? Oh, right, you don't care about life. You're not pro-life at all. And you're not even pro-Bible. You just want to make sure that there are restrictions on women. And pro-liberty. You're not at all pro-liberty. You're not for freedom. You're for a giant government that intrudes in the personal lives of women so that you can control them. So let's keep it real. Because the minute we touch Viagra, you get awfully sensitive. No pun intended. Okay. And when you talk about guns, and by the way, also another representation of their, penis, like, hey, I get to use Viagra with whoever I want outside of marriage. Don't worry about the freaking Bible. Not interested in the Bible. I'll do it with whatever I want, with my liberty and my Viagra and my guns.
Oh, my goodness.
Right?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. But women, no, I'm going to tell you what to do with your bodies.
Right.
Because that's about the Bible.